Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Star Wars Wednesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with Star Wars The Black Series Archive Edition Emperor Palpatine. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging. And pretty standard Archive Edition packaging that we're used to at this point. Assortment number, Star Wars The Black Series Archive. Emperor Palpatine. Warning! Don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. 4 and up. Then a nice big blister showcasing the Emperor and his cane. And then that nice grayscale drawing there. Hasbro print. On the bottom, small print, fine print, legalese print, made in China print, symbols I'm not going to learn, and a barcode. On this side, that nice grayscale artwork again, Star Wars The Black Series, and there is a picture of the most recent release of this figure, or this actually may be the first release of this particular figure. I'm sure it reuses some parts from the original figure, but then this was the Amazon exclusive pack that came with the lighting and the chairs and multiple heads. I really wish I could have got a hold of that one, but I didn't. So I got this one instead. That was in 2019, Emperor Palpatine. Darth Sidious slowly manipulated the political system of the Galactic Republic until he became Supreme Chancellor and eventually Emperor, ruling the galaxy through fear and tyranny. There it is, again in some other languages I don't read. Some things not available. Attention! Don't stick things in your French pie hole that do not belong there. Warning, attention, Octoon, don't stick things in any other language pie hole that do not belong there. And don't give it to babies. Small print, fine print, made in China print, Disney print, Hasbro print. That, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And accessory first, and here we have his gnarled walking stick, which I believe is exactly the same as that very first Black Series release. And there's nothing wrong with that because it does have nice molded details in it, and of course it is appear to be molded in color. It might have a clear overlay on there, but I really don't think so. I think it's just a shiny plastic. Now this is the archive release, of course, and it is the same as that Amazon release that comes with his throne from Return of the Jedi on board the Death Star. And the biggest difference between this figure and the original Black Series release is that this piece is soft goods instead of just a candy cone piece of plastic, because of course that figure had to sit down. And I will say, for some reason, the outer cloak on my original Black Series Palpatine sits better than this one, and that is, it can be a bit of an issue. And again, I'm sure there's some trick out there somewhere where you can wet it and mold it and make it sit the way that you would like it to. Now, the mold again is exactly the same as far as I can tell as that original Black Series release, But the paint on this one is much, much, much better. You can see the Sith eyes in there. And it just looks like it has a wash on it all the way around. He's got a little bit of hair in there still. So that's pretty cool. And you can see it's on the hinge and ball at the head. And then under the top of the cloak, the torso is the plastic. And this belt piece, of course, is, but it's that softer plastic. And I don't know. I have a little bit of issue with the sleeves. I can't quite make them do what I want them to do. But again, that's, you know, Black Series soft goods. So, other, you know, and here's a little bit of detail on his cloak clasp there, which sits a little crooked just as it comes out of the packaging. Let's take a look at his articulation. He can only look up about that far. He looks down that far because, you know, he's the Emperor, and he looks down on everybody. Oh, he's got some chicken neck in there. He's going to be having the Death Star house party later. And let's see, has he got any waggle? Just a little bit, not a bunch. He can do the full Exorcist. Of course he can, because he's evil. At the shoulder, he can do Staying Alive. And there you can kind of see what I'm talking about with the sleeve. So he does have a 360-degree rotation, but the cloak does get in the way of that. He has a cut at the upper bicep, which will give you a full 360-degree rotation, and a double hinged pinned elbow. And it will give you that much bend, which is pretty darn good. Now let's see. He's got no cut in here like the newer Black Series figures have, but he's got like the dumbbell thing at the waist, and he's got all kinds of hula he can get down now. I'm telling you, at that house party, twist, and leaning back, you can't really tell it because of the cloak. Lean forward about that far, and again, it's hard to tell because of the cloak. And he does have a 360-degree rotation at the waist, and that twisted the belt and stuff up. So, and let's see at the hips. He can give you that much of the splits if you push the robe up. Cut here at the upper thigh for a 360-degree rotation. Double hinged pinned knee. That's how you can tell this is an older Black Series mold, because they're all the new ones. Well, I won't say all, but for the most part, they're hinge and swivel at the knee. So that's a decent bend. It ain't great. Nothing at the boot. At the ankles, tilts down that far. Tilts up that far, and forward facing pin for rocker. At least now we know the Emperor does wear pants under his robe. You may fire when ready, Commander. No, fire at will, Commander. That, my friends, people stand up. That, my friends, is a look at the figure and his accessory. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have Archive Edition Emperor Palpatine next to the original Black Series release of Emperor Palpatine and The Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader. Here's Archive Edition Emperor Palpatine next to our final Black Series comparison, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper, and to see how he starts comparing up with other lines from Marvel Legends series. Making his cameo appearance, we have Stan the Man Lee. Here's the Archive Edition Emperor Palpatine next to G.I. Joe Classified Series, Hasbro Pulse exclusive, Regal variant, Cobra Commander, and for a 7-inch scale comparison from Mattel Toys, or just Mattel, we have the Masters of the Universe Masterverse 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on Star Wars The Black Series Archive Edition Emperor Palpatine, I have to say this figure isn't much changed from the original release. There is some change, which is the old figure had that traffic cone candy shell robe on the bottom half of the figure, and then of course the cloth robe like he has now over the top of it. And this one, instead of that candy shell piece, does have a soft goods bottom to the robe, which is it's an improvement, I will say that. And of course the paint on the face and the hands probably too is an improvement. I would have liked to seen this figure come with a set of swappable hands for shooting Force Lightning, you know, with the lightning attached, or have an attachment for the lightning. That would have, you know, kind of put this figure over the top. Which of course this one isn't a re-release of the original Black Series. It's a re-release of the Amazon exclusive Emperor that came with the throne and some other accessories. And I would have just liked to have seen those other accessories included with this figure. And when I say this is the original Black Series figure, for the most part, they all three share most of the parts. I think really the only part they don't share is that hard bottom to the robe. But again, the extra accessories really would have made this one an exceptional figure. And I'm sad to say it doesn't look like they're going to include those extra accessories in the Return of the Jedi 40th retro carded edition of this figure either. It looks like it's going to be the exact same as the archive release, at least from the pictures I've seen, which are most likely digital renders. But if you want a better looking Emperor Palpatine, the archive edition really is the way to go at this point. You can get it in hand now. You can usually find it at a reduced price in most places, whereas, you know, the full price for, if you're waiting for the Return of the Jedi one, on that Return of the Jedi card back, then you're going to be paying full price for it, just basically for that retro card. And I know a lot of people collect on card, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If you like to keep your toys in the original packaging, that's fine. If that's the way that you enjoy them, good for you. Most of us don't enjoy them that way. But to each their own. That does it for the review. I hope that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews, or just help the channel out further, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.